The London Route, Part 2. The wet and cold London weather and lack of sunlight made Chennai miss the glorious sunshine that had given rise to Zimbabwe's capital city, Harare, being known as the Sunshine City. Whenever she told people that she was a Zimbabwean, they immediately told her many things that they had heard about Zimbabwe, and most of the stuff was negative, and she had a hard time trying to change their negative perceptions about Zimbabwe. Learning to use the London Underground was overwhelming, but in due course, Chennai learned to navigate the complex London Underground system, and she was very proud of herself when she could travel the length and breadth of Greater London on her own. Due to its ethnically diverse population, London is a melting pot of different nations. Whenever she travelled on the bus or tube, she noticed that people spoke their indigenous languages, and it seemed like hearing people speaking in tongues. One thing that bewildered Chennai was the fast-paced life in London. Londoners walked and talked fast, and they always seemed to be on the go. There was no better comparison to London's fast-paced life than Zimbabwean lifestyle, where people seemed not to have any sense of urgency, were not rushed, and were never in a hurry. On her first day of university, Chennai felt excited and a bit nervous. The university campus was abuzz with undergraduate students like herself who hailed from around the globe. She was among the students who were fluent in both written and spoken English. A fellow student complimented her English language proficiency and jokingly said, "You speak English flawlessly and fluently that you would have no problem holding a conversation with the royal family." Later that evening, after Tendai had heated a supermarket pre-made meal in the microwave, she told Chennai as she worked on her computer, "Life in the UK is characterised by busy working schedules, and you'll soon realise that university studies coupled with a job will leave you with no time to cook a fresh meal every day." "I don't like supermarket pre-made frozen meals," Chennai responded. "If I have no time to cook, I'd rather prepare home-cooked meals for a week and refrigerate the food. Then each day I'll get a lunchbox out of the fridge and heat up the food." "We shall see how long you'll be able to keep that up," Tendai said. A week later, Tendai and Chennai attended a meeting that was hosted by an organization called Kumusha, whose membership comprised Zimbabwean immigrants living in the UK. Members of Kumusha met monthly for a myriad of activities, which included music concerts performed by Zimbabwean musicians, reading literature written by Zimbabwean writers, screening Zimbabwean films, listening to talks delivered by guests from Zimbabwe, selling Zimbabwean food and products, and having general discussions about issues that affected Zimbabwean immigrants living in the UK. Kumusha organization was open to all Zimbabweans, and it was not affiliated with any political party in or outside Zimbabwe. Chennai and other new members received a warm welcome from the old members, and she was very happy to meet members who, like herself, were recent arrivals to the UK, and other members who had been living in the UK for several years. Some of the members of Kumusha organization had arrived in the UK as skilled immigrants and worked in professional jobs, while others had had trouble finding work in their fields and had resorted to working in low-level jobs. Some, like Chennai, were students, and others were short-term visitors, who'd visited their families who were permanent residents in the UK. The next time that Chennai attended Kumusha organization's monthly meeting, members shared the classic story of how they had left Zimbabwe and joined the bandwagon to the UK in pursuit of a better life. Others explained that they had left Zimbabwe due to political persecution. Members then went on to discuss what life was like for them in the UK. They all agreed that there were pros and cons of living in the UK, and various members shared their different opinions. The first speaker spoke. "When I arrived in the UK, I quickly realized that the green grass that I'd seen on the other side of the fence, which had pushed me to leave Zimbabwe, would only remain lush if I watered and mowed it. So, I realized that I cannot avoid being stuck in the rat race. I find my job challenging, emotionally and mentally draining. But at least I'm working a professional job, I earn good money, and I live a comfortable life with my family. I am in a better situation than a lot of my colleagues who are in Zimbabwe, who work in a job that they trained for and are passionate about, but earn a measly salary that is not sufficient to take care of their family's needs." The second speaker spoke. "I'm a skilled worker with several years of working experience, but I've been unable to secure a job that is commensurate with my qualifications, and I have resorted to working in a low-level job that is beneath my qualification and skill. Initially, I turned down low-level jobs, but after several months of being unemployed, I swallowed my pride because there is no free dinner in the UK, and I had to have an income. I still have not found a job that matches my qualifications, and I'm hoping that I will eventually find my perfect job match. The third speaker spoke. The rat race is not easy, and just as the previous speaker shared, I'm also a skilled worker who thought that I would have no problem finding a job in my field, but that did not happen. What consoles me is that at least the low-level job salary in the UK is much higher than what I earned in Zimbabwe working in a professional job. The fourth speaker spoke. The comfortable lifestyle that my family and I are enjoying in the UK equates to working hectic schedules. So, whether I like it or not, I'm stuck in the rat race. But the thing that disturbs me about the rat race is that I'm finding it difficult to achieve a work-life balance. It's no wonder that veteran Zimbabwean broadcaster, Tilda Amoyo, hosts a weekly broadcast on YouTube titled Diaspora Marriage Complexities. Some of the problems that Zimbabwean diasporans share on the program stem from the fact that couples in the diaspora find it difficult to balance the demands of their job and their personal life, due to the excessive work patterns. The fifth speaker spoke. I ventured to the UK hoping for a better life, and the better life materialized through my hard work, which is well rewarded financially. However, I'm disheartened that my extended family in Zimbabwe regard the financial support that I give to them as their right instead of acknowledging the financial help as a privilege and a blessing. The final speaker said, someone who's living from hand to mouth in Zimbabwe wishes that he or she could leave Zimbabwe and find a better life abroad, and here I am, having lived in the diaspora for a couple of years, and now fed up with the rat race and decided that it's time for me to pack up and return to Zimbabwe. This makes me realize that life is a double-edged sword. I have lost count of the number of people who have told me that I should not throw away my golden opportunity of living in the diaspora because many Zimbabweans are craving the opportunity to leave Zimbabwe. But I insist that home is where my heart is, and I'm going to follow my heart. I have realized that leaving Zimbabwe for the UK is like a dream come true for Zimbabweans because many believe that the UK is a land that flows with milk and honey. While it's true that the UK has many pros such as the opportunity to make money, there are also cons that people in Zimbabwe don't realize about the UK. I've been away from Zimbabwe for many years, and my family and friends will give me all the emotional support that I need to reintegrate and reassimilate. In terms of how I am going to sustain my family financially, that is all under control. End of part 2.